Let's unravel a mystery of the heart. When someone steps back from a connection that once felt bright, our first thought is often that we've lost them. But what if the most meaningful connections don't fade, they just go quiet to find a deeper resonance? The distance you're feeling isn't necessarily an empty space. It can be a sanctuary. In that quiet, something is being carefully weighed, not their affection for you, but their own capacity to hold what you've awakened. You didn't simply enter their life, you echoed in a chamber of their spirit they'd kept closed. The beauty you reflect is so unfamiliar, it feels almost blinding. They didn't schedule this. They didn't budget for a feeling this vast. Yet, here you area quiet revolution in their inner world they can't ignore, even when they try. This is the pivotal truth. Their retreat is not a rejection of you, but a stunned pause before the magnitude of what you represent. They look at the landscape of your spirit, your resilience, your peace in the storm, the way you turn trials into testimony, and it leaves them breathless. It whispers to a potential in themselves they are afraid to believe in. The question that halts them is never, "Do I want this?" It is, "Could I ever be the sanctuary this depth deserves?" They aren't afraid of your light. They are afraid their own won't match its glow. The vulnerability they feel isn't about giving love, but about being truly seen by someone who operates from such a profound place of wholeness. They fear fumbling with a sacred artifact. They worry their own timing is out of rhythm with a destiny that seems to clearly favor you. So where does that leave you? In a position of unshakable power, the power to continue your becoming. Your path is not to wait at a door they are learning to open. Your path is to keep walking yours with such grace and certainty that your very footsteps become a map. You do not need to convince, pursue, or shrink. Your existence, in its full and authentic expression, is the only and the most powerful invitation. This season of quiet is not a verdict on your worth, it is the universe's method of alignment. A bond that rearranges someone's inner universe is always purposeful. It will either blossom in its divine time, having allowed both souls to grow ready, or it will have served as the final, crucial mirror showing you your own incredible completeness. Your stability now is the proof of everything they see in you. Let that be enough, and watch how peace becomes your greatest strength. You see, the space that opens up isn't created by you making them feel less. It's created by their own spirit confronting a powerful question: what version of myself must I become to truly love this person? Think of it not as your light casting a shadow on them, but as your light revealing the unfinished rooms within their own house. They've grown comfortable in those spaces. Loving you means they must now renovate, and that prospect is overwhelming. Their mind becomes a theater where potential conversations with you play on a loop. They draft messages that live forever in their notes, a each word weighed, each sentiment too precious to risk sending. Their connection to you defies logic. They sense shifts in your energy across the distance, feeling a pang when you're low or a sudden warmth when you're near in thought. They notice the same coincidences you do: the song, the number, the memory that arrives out of nowhere. These aren't quirks. They are breadcrumbs on a path their logical mind is terrified to follow. Why the terror? Because their past has taught them a familiar, manageable language. The shallow exchange, the temporary bond, the emotionally safe distance. What they feel with you is a different dialect entirely. It speaks of permanence, of depth, of a foundation that could actually hold the weight of a lifetime. Realness, when you've only known the echo, can be the most frightening sound of all. So, label their stillness correctly. It is not rejection. It is awe. It is the humbling pause before touching something priceless. They are holding the blueprint of a sacred possibility, terrified of being the one to misplace a single, crucial piece. Their fear is a chorus: don't ruin this. Don't bring old patterns here. Don't let your scars bleed on this new canvas. Above all, don't lose what feels like a once-in-a-lifetime chance because you weren't ready. This internal conflict is exhausting. It's a heavy blanket of pressure that stifles speech and fuels insomnia. Their heart is a magnet pulled toward your north, while their mind is an anchor dropped in the familiar harbor of "what if I'm not enough?" This is the silent war. Their history shouts warnings from the trenches of old pain. But their spirit, that quiet and persistent voice, keeps breathing your name like a mantra, a promise of what could be. Understand this: even in their most frozen silence, transformation is happening. Unseen work is being done. Old bricks of insecurity are being replaced, not by you, but by a grace working within them, preparing the foundation. Their admiration for you is profound. They see your layers, the toughness forged in fire and the gentle compassion that remained. They witness your anchored faith and your authentic walk. Yet, this admiration can morph into a daunting mirror. To love someone you truly admire is to accept the challenge of rising to meet that standard within yourself. Their pause, then, is the most sincere form of respect they know how to give in this moment. It is the soul's deep breath before the leap, gathering the courage to believe they could possibly, someday, land beside you. The fear is no longer about you, but about the magnitude of what your presence demands: a total honesty, a surrender of old masks, a transformation they must choose daily. They now see that real love is not a quiet feeling, but a brave action. It is the courage to be seen, the surrender of control, the choice to stay present even when every instinct says to run. They are mustering that courage now. Your essence acts like a gentle, magnetic force, pulling them toward a future they once only imagined. Simply by being who you are, you have initiated a change within them. The heavy belief of being not enough is dissolving. In its place is a quiet knowing: they feel selected. They feel guided. They feel pulled by a divine hand into a story written for your souls long before you met. Do not mistake their deliberate pace for uncertainty. It is sacred preparation. This intentional rhythm will soon become forward motion. The unspoken words will find their voice. The space between you will become a bridge. Fear will be transformed, piece by piece, into a steady and unshakable faith. And when they finally stand before you, the purpose of the waiting will be clear: a necessary season where two hearts were made ready for a single rhythm. What they hold for you is not a shallow infatuation. It is a deep and quiet certainty, soon to be offered without reserve. Please understand, your heart's quiet hope was never unheard. The answer has been unfolding not with noise, but in the silent restructuring of a spirit. The most powerful connections are often built in the unseen, like a seed gathering strength in the dark earth, its growth inevitable. They tried to outrun your memory. They tried to reason away the pull. Yet thoughts of you returned, each time with greater force. The silence has never been peaceful for them. It has been a persistent, pressing reminder of a conversation that was never finished. Every attempt to let go was met by a chord in their soul that would not sever. A gentle awakening is now happening. A higher wisdom is lifting the veil from their own eyes, showing them the truth they tried to deny: you were never a temporary chapter. You are the promise. You are the clarity that cuts through confusion. You are the answer to a prayer their spirit whispered before their mind knew the words. The distance was never born from a lack of care. It was a confession: I am not yet the vessel strong enough to hold this sacred offering. They stepped back not from you, but from their former self, to become someone capable of meeting a love of this depth. Now, in their most honest prayer, a single question forms: is the story still ours to write? And the universe, in its boundless and patient language, responds not with a shout, but with a shift in the atmosphere, a softening in the light, a quiet but undeniable knowing. The story has been waiting for you both. The love they once prayed for is the very love they fled. To be loved so completely felt like a mirror, showing them a version of themselves they weren't ready to face. In you, they found a peace and a purpose they couldn't match. You didn't chase them. You simply were, anchored in a grace that felt sacred. They, feeling unworthy, let you go. But on the surface only. Inside, you never left. Your memory remains your voice, your kindness, your quiet presence. The pain of your absence is now greater than any vulnerability you caused. A clear message is reaching them: this isn't over. They are finally accepting what their heart has always known: it was always you. No amount of time or distance could change it. Now, they prepare to return, not as they were, but with sober intent. Their thoughts are no longer just of love, but of covenant, a sacred, lasting bond. They understand this connection is not casual, it is divine. What has been started is meant to be completed. An inner shift is happening. Old fears are being removed. They are realizing that to ignore this love is to reject a gift God Himself aligned. If you've held on in faith, a moment is coming, a message, a meeting, a sign your spirit will instantly recognize. There will be no doubt, only a deep and certain peace. That peace will be your confirmation. They are not coming back for games. They are coming to choose you, clearly. They have felt the heavy emptiness of life without you. Distractions failed. Nothing compares to the calm, the joy, the sense of home and future you brought. They remember how you spoke life into their emptiness, how you saw their soul when others saw only surface, how your very presence carried a healing they didn't know they needed. What truly stirs their fear is the sheer scale of their own emotion. This bond asks for complete transparency, for dropping every guard, for evolving in ways that feel both thrilling and terrifying. Yet they are arriving at a crucial truth: authentic connection is an act of bravery. It is a voluntary laying down of arms, a conscious decision to be present even when every cell screams to retreat. They are now assembling that bravery, piece by piece. The radiance you embody functions less like a light to be seen and more like a magnet, drawing them inevitably closer. Your essence has triggered a quiet awakening in their own. Simply by being who you are, you have initiated a metamorphosis within them. The old narrative of not being good enough has been edited out. A new story is being written where they feel selected, orchestrated, pulled by a force of grace into an epic that was drafted for your souls long ago. Do not mistake their current pace for reluctance. It is purposeful alignment. This measured rhythm will soon accelerate into motion. The words held back will find their moment. The divide will become a bridge. Apprehension will be converted, steadily, into a quiet and unshakable trust. When the moment of meeting finally arrives, the purpose of the waiting season will be revealed, a sacred incubation that prepared both of your spirits for a harmony too profound for haste. Their love is not shallow. It is not loud. It is an entire ocean contained, soon to be offered to your shore. Hear this: your silent yearning never echoed into emptiness. A response has been in motion, unfolding not in grand gestures but in the silent reconstruction of a heart. The most enduring bonds are often forged in unseen places, like a current moving deep beneath a still surface, gathering power, directing its flow toward a destined meeting. They attempted to exile your memory. They tried to assign logic to a feeling that defied it. Yet thoughts of you persisted, each return more forceful than the last. The quiet between you has been a deafening roar in their world, a constant, pressing reminder of a story begging to be finished. Every attempt to walk away was countered by an anchor in their soul that would not lift. A revelation is now dawning, gentle and irreversible. A higher wisdom is dissolving their denials, showing them the truth they camouflaged with doubt. You were never a coincidence. You are not a test. You are the destination. You are the lens that brought a blurry world into focus. You are the living reply to a question their spirit had been asking in a language they didn't yet understand. The space they created was never about absence of feeling. It was a confession of unpreparedness. They stepped back not from you, but from their former self, to forge a version capable of honoring a gift of this magnitude. Now, in the most honest chamber of their spirit, a single question rises like a prayer: is the path still open? The universe, in its boundless and patient language, is responding with a shift in the air, a softening of the light, a quiet but undeniable signal. The path has been waiting for you both. The very love they prayed for was the love they fled from. The prospect of being seen so completely, loved so truthfully, was a mirror that reflected a version of themselves they were not ready to face. In you, they encountered a caliber of purpose, a depth of peace, and a quiet strength that felt almost foreign. You did not negotiate for their affection. You did not perform. You simply were anchored in a grace that felt sacred, and in its presence, they felt profoundly unqualified. Believing themselves incapable of holding something so genuine, they created distance. Externally, they let go. Internally, they never could. Your echo remained. The memory of your voice became a touchstone. Your consistent kindness gently disarmed their defenses. The ache of your absence has become a deeper wound than any vulnerability they felt in your company. There is a clarity now, a message being delivered to their spirit. This narrative is not over. It is circling back. They are finally acknowledging a truth their heart has always held. It was always you. Through all the time, all the space, all the rationalizations, their soul never relinquished its claim. Now, they are gathering themselves to walk back, but not as the person who left. They return with a sober understanding, a focused intent, and a vision fixed on permanence. Their thoughts are no longer just of romance, but of legacy, of covenant, sacred partnership, and a built-to-last bond. They understand now, this is not a casual connection. It is a divine assignment. What grace has authored, grace will complete. The story woven between you is destined for fulfillment. A fundamental realignment is happening within them. Unseen guides are smoothing the path, dissolving old anxieties. They are waking up to a sobering reality. To walk away from this love is to decline a gift that was personally orchestrated by a higher hand. If you have been holding a quiet hope, know this: a moment of recognition is approaching. It may be a message, a meeting, a simple sign, but your spirit will know it instantly. There will be no confusion, no second-guessing. You will feel a profound and settling peace. That peace will be your confirmation. They are not preparing for drama, uncertainty, or half-hearted trials. They are coming with a resolved heart to make a conscious choice. The cost of life without you has become clear. Each day carries a new weight, a hollow quiet that distractions cannot mute. They tried to fill the silence with noise, to occupy the space you left with anything else. But nothing compares. Nothing matches the serenity, the shared joy, the profound sense of destiny and home that arrived with you. They remember how your words became water for their parched places. They remember how you looked past the facade and spoke directly to the soul within. They remember the medicine your presence carried, a healing they did not even know they needed, offered without them having to ask.